What is it that makes this stage behind me really cool? Is it the timbers? You look at the rafters and all these odd angles. There's a nice solid arch. The posts have the right visual massing. But what is it? Is there one thing in particular that makes this feel good? It's not the things I've just alluded to. It is, if you'll notice the corners are knocked off. It made some real funny, intriguing, good-looking angles, really, and quite fun to challenging to do with the math, where the hips come up from the corners. But those corners knocked off set the stage, pun intended, for including the audience, especially when you have a standalone structure like this. If it were to be square, it's okay, but it directs the energy out. With these corners knocked in, it directs the energy out like a big hug, inclusive with a circle. And so if you're thinking about a stage outside, I would really highly recommend you to pull the corners in and mimic that circle. Get the energy inclusive, not just straight out. And that's really why this has such a natural, intuitive feel. And it's like, yes, that's where somebody delivering a message is going to naturally stand and talk. But of course, it's not just that. That's the big thing. That's the keystone. The other things, the visual massing, getting it big enough, the curve with the arch just kind of goes and softly goes up. And then of course, all the intriguing angles and the vibe of the wood all creates this warmth, and all together comes and is a symphony in and of itself, all collectively. But the big kit thing for the stage is set the stage with the energy where it's directed. That's pulling the corners back, mimicking a circle. In this particular stage, we built this out of Doug fir. It's a relatively big span. It is cut down by the knee braces. You see here, they come up and they cut the truss span down. Knee braces also give it lateral support, so you get a twofer. And the stone was chosen for that height in relation to how it looked overall. And that's done strictly by eye. If you want to get your eye closer, you can use the golden ratio, which is basically 3 to 5 is the base ratio. 3 parts up, 5 parts up, or vertically, it can stack different ways, but when you get close to that, ding, your eye likes it. There's even a computerized program that does a face for golden ratios. It's beyond me, I don't understand that, but it is out there. So the golden ratio is a real thing. It's repeated in nature. In design, it's something that when we get close to it, it just looks right. And it's really tough to do with design in particular, in that nothing is, it's hard to know what your eye includes. Where does your eye stop going up to the peak, for example? It kind of cuts it off there somewhere. It's not to the peak exactly. It's kind of using massing in general, and so it's not an exact science, it's more of an art. But knowing that there is such a thing helps us get to beauty faster. Here we did an ebony deck for that, just so it holds up and all the scratches and that sort of thing. We didn't go with the composite just because everything out here is wood and stone and nature. So the composite just felt a little bit funny, and then you have fears about how is it going to hold up in time. Is it proven? You know, wood is proven, so that was kind of an easier choice. And we did the back wall out of wood. That's just board and bat, both sides, no framing, so it's the same both front and back. And you know, it's just really a fun project. And this stage really replicates what we describe in our book, The Art of Hybrid Timber Framing, to be the classic style. It is not Euro. Euro is more ornate than this, but it's classic. It still can be somewhat big. And so it falls between traditional and European, generally with some softer curves. A European will have steeper curves and whatnot, but just real strong, big timbers that are nice, soft, arching lines. That's kind of the essence of what we describe as classic in our book, The Art of Hybrid Timber Framing. And get the book if you want to find more about it. There's 7 styles listed there, and you can mix and match and find your sweet spot.